The house was small, quiet and worn by time. Its mud walls carried the weight of many years, yet inside it was never fully dark. For every night, without fail, a candle stood at the center of the wooden table, its flame burning low but steady. It was not just a candle. It was a beacon of hope, of faith, of memory. She lit it herself, this mother. Her hands, once strong from tending the farm and raising her child, had grown thin and trembling, but still she struck the match with care. Each evening, as the sky folded into night, she whispered a prayer and pressed the flame to the wick. Then she sat before it, staring into the soft light, waiting. Her son, Franklin, had gone to war. He had walked out of the village with his head high, uniform pressed, and dreams too big to fit in his heart. The government had promised honor, and he had promised her that he would return. But the war swallowed men quickly. Letters stopped coming, neighbors whispered of battles lost and soldiers buried in shallow graves. Still, the mother refused to let despair make its home in her heart. "My son will return," she would murmur, her voice steady as the flickering flame. "This candle will guide him back." The villagers noticed. Each night when they passed her window, they saw the glow. Some pitied her, others admired her. They said she is a woman of faith, they said. But faith is heavy when carried alone. Her nights were long. She would sit by the candle, remembering Franklin as a boy, how his laughter used to echo across the yard, how he once brought home a wounded bird and nursed it until it flew again. She remembered his promises, the way he squeezed her hand before leaving, the look in his eyes that said he believed he was strong enough for the world. But years passed, and Franklin did not return. The mother grew weaker. Age and sorrow pressed against her body, slowing her steps, bending her back. Yet her ritual never changed. Even when her joints ached, even when her breath came shallow, she still lit the candle. Because in her heart, she believed that as long as its flame burned, her son's path home was not lost. Sometimes, when the wind rattled the roof and the shadows crept close, she would whisper to the flame, "Find him. Show him the way." The candle never answered, but it listened. And then, one night, the house was colder than usual. She lit the candle, as always, but her hands shook harder this time. She stared at the flame, her face hollow but peaceful. A long silence filled the room, the kind of silence that feels like farewell. Her eyes closed. Her body leaned back slowly in the chair. She did not wake again. The candle burned on. Its flame flickered bravely against the dark, as though it knew it carried more than wax. It carried a mother's final hope. But candles are mortal too. The wick bent low, the wax melted thin, and the light grew smaller. Until at last, with a soft sigh, the flame gave up its fight, and the room fell into darkness. The last candle had burned out. Outside, the village continued as it always had. Children laughed, elders told stories, traders shouted prices at the market. But in that small house, something had ended. They found her the next morning, her face calm. The wax hardened into silence on the table. Some wept for her, others simply bowed their heads. They all knew what the candle had meant. Franklin never came home. Perhaps he had fallen long ago, buried where no one could find him. Perhaps he had wandered, lost to the world. But his mother had never let go. She had waited until her final breath, and when she left, so too did the light she had kept alive. And yet, though the candle was gone, its meaning lived on. The villagers spoke of her faith. Children grew up hearing the story of the mother who lit a candle every night for her son. Her love became a legend, a reminder that even in the face of silence, a mother's heart never stops calling. The war had stolen Franklin, but it could not extinguish her devotion. That flame, though it had burned out, still lingered in memory, brighter than any star.